Greetings, everyone. I'm sure I don't have to remind you about our ancestors that were taken away from their continent and shipped to different parts of Europe, America, and in particular the Caribbean areas. Do your own research. It is important for you to know about your history and to know about your ancestors. One of the biggest problems we're having in the world is because we are separated from roots and separated from our heritage. I don't want to get into that in this video. I just want to correct something. See, we hear about the Maroons in Jamaica, and there's this huge, a colossal mistake in speaking about maroon, the term maroon, as it refers to some of our ancestors. Remember, our race of people was taken from our continent and brought to another, what we call the New World. And when we got there, before the ship even docked in these Caribbean areas, people were already protesting. There were individuals who chose to jump off some of those ships because they said, I'd rather be buried in the grave, in the watery grave, than to be enslaved. Okay? Now, that spirit continued to this very day. And please remember that our people come from different parts. And for now, we're going to say Africa and put that in quotation. Our people came from different regions, okay, in on the continent. And when they were brought to Jamaica, of course, culture would play a part in the way we respond to things. And so some of our ancestors responded by resisting and running away from captivity. But I want you to understand that the ones who called you maroon are the same ones who call you black, or the same ones that say you're African, or the same one that call you Negroes, and of course, all the other derogatory name. Maroon is not an African person. It's not a race. Okay? We are one people. And so what we do is not who we are. So as a race, someone determined that within this race, this one is going to be a maroon, another way to separate ourselves. And so you see and hear these conversations of people saying, we are maroons, we are not Jamaicans. This always separating ourselves and creating a new identity within our race. See, always something to divide us and separate us from each other. And the problem is not who is trying to do that, is the fact that we allow that, we are embracing that in this time. So you can't get all the parts to come together to stand up and be bold, because we are allowing the ones who gave us these identities and these names and, tell us we're black and, we're African and this one is a maroon, and stop it. Look at the meaning of the word. And remember that every word that is used to describe us that did not come from our lineage or our roots, who gave these names to us and for what purpose or to what end do we have these titles and these characteristics? You see, we have to be smart. We have to be smart. None of these names that are given to us empower us. None of them allow us to come together so all the parts can merge and become one. None of them serve us. None of what is done builds us. It breaks us. And so we have to be smart and not facilitate these discussions. So if you are a proud maroon, ask yourself, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because every other race go under the same umbrella, identify themselves, with each other, and don't allow anyone from the outside to divide or separate them. What does maroon mean? It means to leave, trapped and isolated in an inaccessible place, especially an island. Being a maroon doesn't describe who you are, it describes what some of our ancestors did in resistance to what these ones forced upon us. So think about it before you jump to embrace it and identify yourself with the very thing that kept you in bondage. Stay blessed.